As some of you might know, we visited Hong Kong twice earlier this year. The first time was during Chinese New Year celebrations, and while we did not know it yet at the time, that trip had a timing problem. On paper, our plan looked solid. The initial assumption was that a festive atmosphere would make everything feel special. But after experiencing the crowds and the way they affected our plans, we started to question whether it was actually the best time to visit. Let's not jump ahead though, because initially it all started in a much quieter rhythm. The first holiday morning gave us a completely different impression from what came later. As we walked through Victoria Park, the city did not feel overwhelming yet. If anything, it felt calm and easy to move through, almost as if we had chosen the perfect time to be there.
Day of volleyball. Lots of Filipinos. I'm hearing Tagalog. Also, some people there are eating bam-in noodles. Uy! Ginutong takon. I got hungry. This guy is looking for rice because the moment we arrived here, we never had rice. Now, I'm being grumpy. Really hungry.
What?
A lot of people. Look at Agoy.
Yeah. This is nothing. For me, what's next to our house is even worse.
It's like buildings on top of buildings.
Well, yeah, this city is known for its verticality. Yeah, it's very peaceful here. Considering we're in a very big city, this path feels almost like we're walking some nature path. After exploring the area on foot for a while, we eventually stopped for breakfast at the Jiangnan-style Chinese restaurant, serving food from the Jiangsu and Shaiyang provinces from eastern China. Breakfast was good, but the real food highlight of the day came a little later when we tried the egg tarts from Bakehouse. Bakehouse is well known in Hong Kong for its sourdough egg tarts, so it was one of the food stops we had already marked before the trip. And honestly, after trying them once, they became a bit of a guilty pleasure for us during both of our Hong Kong trips. And this is how they look like. The egg tarts. We also got some coffee from that place.
Can I have all of them?
No. You can have half.
Very yum yum.
You can go stand in the line and buy more if you want.
It's so good.
Later that evening, we planned to watch the Chinese New Year parade. We had hoped arriving a couple of hours early would be enough, but by the time we got to the area, it was already too late. Crowd control measures were in place, the viewing areas were packed, and moving around the city became extremely difficult. We still tried to find a spot where we could actually see something, but everywhere we went, it felt too crowded. After walking around and trying to salvage the situation for a while, we eventually gave up on watching the parade. So far I have failed every step on the way. No night market, no parade, everything is ruined.
Because it's very crowded. Every time you go out, it's like
Jokes aside, it's very crowded here and neither of us likes crowds, so we just opted for it, just walking around.
Yeah.
Now we're going home. So yeah, we can watch the parade later from the YouTube.
Yep. It's draining my energy so much.
Me too. For the next day, we had another big evening plan. The Chinese New Year fireworks. Originally, we considered Victoria Peak as a possible viewing spot. But even in the morning, the queue for the tram going up there was already massive. So that was enough to make us scrap that idea. After missing the parade the night before, I did not want to repeat the same mistake. So while Bekay rested before work, I went out alone to scout another possible viewpoint within walking distance from our accommodation. On the map, it looked realistic. If it worked, It could save us from dealing with the biggest crowds later in the evening. But as I started walking, it slowly became clear that this plan might not be as simple as it looked online. It had taken me nearly 20 minutes just to reach that path. After climbing stairs for most of the way, I was already completely soaked in sweat, and from what the map was showing, I still had some distance left before reaching the viewpoint.
Yeah, I literally had to take a break and clean myself off sweat because it's quite challenging, this climb.
But then a problem appeared. Google Maps had made it look like there was a path through, but from where I was, there was no proper way to continue. So at least the last part of the climb had basically been for nothing. Safe to say, the scouting mission so far was not exactly a success. The only consolation prize was this view, which, to be fair, was not a bad one.
Yeah, I'm trying alternative route now. Supposedly a bus also goes there. The road I took, yeah, you can see it now in full length once I'm going down. It was quite a climb. Really beat the out of me this climb. This climb really exhausted me. But now we're going down to scout an alternative route, so Bekay will be also able to make it to the lookout with me later once the fireworks start.
The only realistic option left was to try reaching the viewpoint by bus. It meant I had to go halfway back down the hill first, and then walk through a few streets to get to the nearest stop.
Have to be careful here. These steps are quite narrow. Almost tripped on one step. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone else here taking these stairs, so it must not be a popular path. Maybe because it's quite rough to climb.
Unfortunately, the setbacks were not exactly over yet.
Looks like we are not able to look from that viewpoint. I had in mind even because I tried to catch a bus there to scout the place, and two completely packed full buses just drove past where I was supposed to take a bus. So yeah, you can't even take public transport anywhere up there because it's so full of people trying to get to the Victoria Peak. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out now where we could still see the fireworks. We'll see. Hopefully I'm able to think of something.
After two failed attempts to reach higher ground, I started leaning toward a different approach. Instead of chasing the perfect viewpoint, we decided to look for something closer and more realistic. In the end, we settled on a spot near our accommodation. It was not exactly ideal, since we were watching from the side, rather than from the main viewing areas facing the fireworks directly. But after the previous night's parade situation, manageable started to feel better than perfect.
Yeah, look at that cloud of smoke. Okay.
On the last day of festivities, our plan was to visit Sha Tin Racecourse. Horse racing is a big part of Hong Kong's culture, and the Chinese New Year race day at Sha Tin is one of the iconic holiday events people come out for in Hong Kong. So it felt like a good chance to experience something local. After the parade and fireworks situation, we were hoping this would be a bit easier. That hope did not last very long. As we got closer to the entrance, the crowd was already backed up around the gates. Movement was slow, and it quickly became clear that even getting inside would not be simple. At that point, the writing was on the wall. We could keep pushing forward and hope it would somehow get better, or we could accept that this was probably not going to be an enjoyable experience. So once again, we had to let go of something we had planned. And that is probably the main lesson from this Hong Kong trip. Chinese New Year did make the city feel special. There was energy, atmosphere, and moments we probably would not have experienced at another time of year. But it also made the trip harder to enjoy in a normal way. Even simple plans became less predictable, and when we did try to plan ahead, things did not always work out the way they looked on paper. So, would I personally choose Chinese New Year for a first Hong Kong trip again? Probably not. If your main goal is to experience the holiday itself, then it can definitely be memorable. But if it is your first visit, or if you want a smoother trip with more flexibility, I would probably choose another time. Hopefully, this video gives you a more realistic idea of what visiting Hong Kong during Chinese New Year can actually feel like. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.